Hey there, everyone. It's a week in review stock market update that's like the end of October, really. It's almost a month in review. As a matter of fact, let's set this thing to 30 days and talk about the month. So first, let's give an update on yesterday. The option I told everybody to buy on yesterday, Moderna, did not work out. I lost my money on that option, but it was kind of funny because throughout the day, you still had options to make money. I was out playing like pickup hockey with my son, and during the middle of the day as all the trading was going on, and I saw them. Moderna started the day at like 347, and then they went down to about 337 actually. And when I saw that, I go, wow! I go, everyone's selling right now. I go, this is going to stop soon, and then it's going to flip because they're not supposed to go down. And so I bought an option when they were at like 340 or 337 for like $80. One of these crazy one-day options, right? Like just that's expiring in 4 hours, just like a maniac, right? But it's only $80. And sure enough, before the end of the hockey session, the thing was up to $330 because they went up like $6-7 a share. And it was an option for 345 strike price, actually, is what the option was for the end of the day. And I could have sold it there, but I decided to play more hockey. And then the weirdest thing in the world happened when I got home before the end of the day. And it's something that I guess you have to watch out for, and it's kind of a greater discussion we can have about data and how decisions get made here in 2021, which is I accidentally made a butt dial trade. I was looking at my option on the phone and then got distracted, and I had my finger on the phone, and I hadn't turned this monitor off or anything, the screen off, and I pressed like sell, and it automatically filled the number that, like, it automatically fills the sell price for you, which I hate. Oh my God. And it sold it, and I was like, what? And I looked at my phone like 5 minutes later, and then I was like, what on earth? I was like, what happened? and I was like, oh my God. I go, did my account get hacked? And I'm like, no, my account didn't get hacked. I go, I'm just an idiot. I was like, I just touched the button and pressed OK, apparently. Like, I made 2 clicks without looking. and I mean, it cost me a few $100, it looks like. But, I mean, wow, it's scary that you can accidentally do that. Because that could have been, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I would never would have got... Sorry, it could not have been hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars in my TD Ameritrade account. But if I did, it could have been that, essentially. And that's scary. So... I'm going to talk to TD Ameritrade about some protocols in place, like do not fill in the price of the option unless I type it in, because then I can't accidentally type. I'll type, something else, because that sucked. So watch out for that. Same thing goes for crypto and stuff. Like you make a crypto transfer and that thing's gone, and it's gone forever. You ain't getting it back most of the time. So it's kind of funny how when you have a lot of money in one place, you could be gone in 3 seconds and you'd never get it back. That sucks. Anyway, all right. So Moderna didn't go up for the day, so I'm wrong about my day trading advice and prediction for the day. But when you talk about things, I mean, yeah, you're not going to get it right every day, and I don't expect to. A lot of these are just like. It's just a way of playing the volatility on a daily basis that you don't do with large sums of money as an investment. You do it with small sums of money as a speculation. And it has worked out for me over the last few months, especially as a lot of things go up. Speaking of things going up, let's look at our list. I mean, of course, Tesla comes to mind. Another hilarious prediction I make that was completely wrong, which is I'm like, they're going to have to sell Tesla today. No, they're not. Everyone bought the hell out of it. I said that I'd be amazed if they're over 1,114 or over 1,100. Well, color me amazed. They keep blowing through everything, I guess. One problem I will admit I do have one problem when it comes to predictions, is I think the future is coming faster than it is. I admit that is my faux pas. And so I see stuff like way out, and it just takes a while for other people to see it. So there will be a sell-off at some point in Tesla that will bring them down to 1,000. I'm probably right about that. But it's not happening yet, and we'll see what happens next week. Like, the news is just great. Now, could I be wrong and they never go back to 1,000? Maybe. But keep in mind, like, I'd still say they're always going up. Like they're more overall they're going up. So why am I saying they're going to go to 1,000? Because there's greedy people, and those greedy people are not going to not take their profits. Okay, so when you see this over 30 days, and then you look at what happens over a year in a company like this, you'll start to understand what I'm talking about. So, I mean, that is berserk right there. It's done that before, remember? It did it here. And then what happened? Zoink, people took profits. And then it did it here again. And then zoink, people took profits. So now it just keeps going. And you're like, wait a minute. And it's because people are realizing that we're all moving to electric cars. Like Tom Brady is doing commercials for Hertz. Like it's over. Basically, you're now a loser if you don't have an electric car. And I don't have an electric car. And the people I hang out with drive pickup trucks. And they used to, like my friends that used to hear me talk about electric vehicles. I can remember one specifically, and he's like, what are you driving now? Because I was driving like an old cop car. I was driving an old Miami-Dade County police car at one point, just for fun. And he's like, what are you driving? I'm like, yeah, I'm driving a police car, but I'm buying an electric truck. And he goes, you buying an electric truck? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you better not. I was like, why? He goes, because I'm going to kick your ass. And that's just the way things were. You know, people were icing charging facilities, right? Putting their truck in front of chargers, just being like, no, I'm not allowing this feature to happen. But nope, not anymore. Now Tom Brady is charging up his chest in the middle of a Hertz airport parking lot. And so it's over. And electric has won, and Tesla is the best. And so when you start to see stuff like that, then you realize why it blows up like this. Now, I'll go back to what I said. Someone's going to take profits at some point. Of course they are. And it's going to happen at some point. But in the long run, they're going to keep going up. So it's like, I can't buy them right now. But if you want to, go ahead. Because in the long run, you'll be correct. The value, where the value is Moderna. Because people aren't realizing the value of this. I mean, I can talk about Moderna forever, but I won't, just because it'll just happen. But people don't realize the value of human life because they don't realize about this. So when you see Moderna's stock here, that was here and there. Well, look at what happened to Tesla, right? Tesla got there at one point. Tesla got there, and then we were like, oh, they just my friends were like, yeah, Tesla's hanging out flat for like 6 to 8 months. I'm like, yeah, and then they did this. And that's exactly what Moderna's going to do too. So I just keep buying Moderna because you're not going to lose on that. Now, what else do we want to talk about? I want to talk about some abstract things, painting the world. Google doing well. Look at Google at 29. Yeah, you can raise Google to 3,000. You do some price changes here. Somebody asked me what's going on with Chipotle, and I mean, this one I actually have to advise about. I need to speak openly about this. I know executive in Chipotle. I know people in Chipotle. Like, I mean, Chipotle. If I say that a menu item needs to be on the Chipotle menu, I can make it happen. I bet you I can make it happen. Here, you know what? Comment below what menu item you want added. Tell me what it is. If I agree with you, I'll probably make it happen. So when I talk about this stock, I'm like, well, I mean, I want them to go up because I like the people, I like the product, I eat it, but I also like, it was, like there's like disclosure. I don't invest in them because of that reason. I don't want to get accused of like insider trading or whatever. So I don't invest in them. But I guess when I talk about them, I should say I like them, but I have other reasons to like them. So I almost don't want to talk about them as much, but I don't know what's going on. I haven't actually researched it, so I don't know. Netflix. Yeah, look at Netflix at $6.90. That's another one that ain't stopping. I called this at 700 back when they were at 605 or 615 or something. I called it, and that's like $7,000-$8,000 in intrinsic option value in less than a month, right? I mean, when I talk to people about buying Netflix, and I talked to people about a month ago, and these old dudes were laughing at me. They're like, oh, you're one of them, huh? You're one of them. What about PE ratio? And I'm like, listen, shut up. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Welcome to the world. Netflix just charged my account for the month, and it didn't bother me. I actually watched Squid Game, and it was good. I felt like I was watching a movie in a movie theater, and I wasn't. Right? This is why they don't stop. because everybody is now entranced and hypnotized by Netflix because they did it right. The guy who started Netflix, you want to talk about gambling of something funny? He took like 25 grand to Las Vegas and won hundreds of thousands of dollars, almost millions maybe, in blackjack or something, and that's how he was able to get enough like seed money that he needed to get Netflix off the ground in the beginning, back when they were sending DVDs. I will give that guy a call at some point because that's hilarious, and he clearly converted on that bet. Amazon. Sorry, I'm dropping you guys to 32.50. And the reason why is that you're just too physical. I see your trucks everywhere, and I was like, wait a minute, your Amazon trucks are not all electric yet. I was like, you guys are actually going to fall behind if you don't start doing stuff like that. And that's why they keep surfacing and not really getting over 3,500. They're also too expensive, and they need to split. If they split, their stock will go up a lot. I don't know if there's any plans to do that. It's actually a good question. I always assumed that Amazon doesn't split because Jeff Bezos wants to be number one. So he's like, I want to have my price of my stock be the number one on the planet. And so that was kind of a personal, almost silly reason to not want to split the stock. And I'm just speculating on that. I mean, I did work for him for two different stints. I worked at Amazon Web Services because they, of course, wanted my intelligence. And I mean, they're an interesting company. Like, there's a lot. They're doing a lot of good things for everybody, and certainly organization of data and the way that they like to express data and deal with everything on an individual level and get it done. I can appreciate all of that, but I do think their stock's going to be kind of sluggish unless they decide to split. And I've never owned an option in Amazon. They're always too expensive. Always. I mean, even the richest people I know don't like to dabble in options with Amazon because they're so expensive. So, and that can be solved with a split. So bye-bye Amazon for now. You just dropped off the main top list. And that leaves us with, I'll leave Chipotle on there, but like I said, there's my caveat about Chipotle. Illumina is now here, so that means Microsoft is too low. Look at Canadian Solar, do what I said and go over 40. Microsoft. Oh my God, Microsoft. You're going to make me raise your price? Jesus, they went from 300 to 331. What happened? I wasn't paying attention. Microsoft apparently blew up again. What'd you do, guys? It's because everybody's using you. Yeah, these are companies that are benefiting from all of our investment and also inflation, essentially, which is why the stock price keeps doing this. So they went up to 330. I'm hesitant to raise them above 315 because I feel like this jump, this kind of jump from Microsoft actually doesn't make sense. I like this company, obviously. I do a ton of stuff in Excel and love what Microsoft does. Maybe it's just inflation and me being not understanding of the true inflation numbers that I allowed this to not cause me to raise Microsoft's price, but I mean, it's just too fast. They have so many shares. See how they have a $2.4 trillion market cap, right? That's what that's saying. And it's also saying that when you look at how many shares they have, they look at their share totals. Where is it? Sorry, I'll shrink this a little bit. Outstanding shares. See how red this number is? They have 7,507,000,000 shares. So they got a share for about everybody on the planet. That's funny, if that's what that number is. And that's so much more than every other company on here, right? Like, look at all the different numbers. The red means it's just this number's enormous. Abbott Labs actually has 1.7 billion as well. So when you start to dilute the number of shares, you start to realize that this is an amazing move for them to go from 290 to 330 in like 2 weeks, right? I think that's what happened. And so it just causes me to not want to raise their price, which is why they're falling off this list. But such is life. I need to review Illumina. And that's about it. So you get a list, that looks like this. And coming into November, you're going to hear me beat the drum and say bye Moderna again, because it's all I do. And you've got another $10 in intrinsic value on Netflix before I think they take a dive a little bit for profits, for winter profits. There's always a cycle to this. Like, people do stuff before the end of the year, and you got some time. And Google is going to go to 3,000. Tesla just is a firecracker to have fun with in every direction. And then Walmart is at 149. I think you're starting to lose some value on some stuff because everything's gone up too much too fast. So it'll just be a profit-taking pull down, probably, that brings things down a little slightly at some point. When will that happen? Probably sometime in November. We'll have some of that. But as for next week, but you don't lose on Moderna because of where they are. So the pullback doesn't hurt. When you see a pullback on other parts of the market, you won't see a pullback on Moderna because the news out of Moderna will be, oh, we're going to give shots to all the kids. Oh, we got to vaccinate the entire world. Oh, there's a different variant of the virus or a brand new virus entirely that's even more transmissible that we have to all of a sudden come up with a new vaccine for. And we're all going to realize that this is the type of company that's changing the planet for the better. And without it, we'd be all unhealthier. So it's just silly not to invest in them. So that's my update for the day. Sorry for the bad option advice on daily trading on Friday, but hey, we're here to have fun. We're not here to complain or whine. We're just here to continue to analyze and then make good trades and win. All right. Good luck. May all your trades be winning.